videos. Guys, there is still concern over Tua Tagovailoa's durability heading into the draft. Former NFL exec Mike Tannenbaum said it would be, quote, irresponsible for a team to draft Tua in the top 10. So, Shannon, I start with you. Does he have a point?
Nope. Guess what, Skip? The only reason that Miami is in position to draft Tua is because why, Skip? Because they played it safe with Drew Brees. They had an opportunity to sign Drew Brees. They chose a guy in Dante Culpepper who had medical issues, but it wasn't with his shoulder, it was with his knee. So now they find themselves in this situation, still looking for a quarterback. 20 years after Dan Marino last played a snap for the Dolphins. Skip, safe picks don't win you Super Bowl when you're drafted in the first round. Skip, you just mentioned it the segment before. What did Andy Reid do? Move up 17 spots to get my homeboy. Was there not risk involved in that, Skip? Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Houston Texans move up to get Deshaun Watson? There's risk in that. Skip, there's risk. Sure, I'm sure everybody would like to sit back and say, you know what? I want a pick like Elway, Manning, or Luck. A guy that started for 3-4 years, stayed the whole time in college, no flags, no medical. Oh, John had torn his ACL in college, so he was playing without an ACL his whole career. So he tore that, never got it replaced, Skip. But there's risk involved. I mean, what was the risk when you selected Vernon Golston, Skip? That's still a top 5 bust in NFL history. Did Mike Tannenbaum select him? What about old Quentin Copples? Skip, under Mike Tannenbaum, the Dolphins had one winning season. Because let me tell you what happened, Skip Baylor. When you in professional sports and you play basketball, football, baseball, you're either a player or you're a general manager. When you make mistakes, guess what you become, Skip? An analyst. That's what you become when you make mistakes, an analyst. You're no longer in the position of putting a team together. You're talking about what teams shouldn't do. No, you better take Tua. If you don't take Tua, you're going to regret it.
Okay, back to your opening point about Drew Brees. I saw Drew play live when he was at Purdue, and I followed him closely at Purdue. And to my knowledge, he was pretty injury-free at Purdue in college. He had a shoulder injury that he suffered at San Diego, as you know. And the Dolphins, I believe Saban was in charge at that point, Nick Saban.
He
wouldn't
was.
clear him, and you know the rest of the story. So the point is, it was just one injury, and he did not have an injury history. Now, back to Mike Tannenbaum. To me, I was surprised that Tannenbaum stopped at top 10. To me, in good conscience, you can't take Tua in the top 20 of the first round because of a horrifying college injury history. It's not just here and there, it's everywhere. It's Rex Ryan reporting on ESPN that he's had 5 surgeries. It's concussion, it's broken nose, it's broken finger on his throwing hand, it's pulled quad, it was knee that probably required a scope that we never heard about. It's 2 ankle surgeries called tightrope surgeries, and then it's a hip injury that required surgery that could have been career-threatening. The doctors that Tua has been able to go to have cleared him. But again, we're in a situation right now, obviously because of our pandemic that we're all fighting, in which no team can get a firsthand objective physical on Tua. So you are literally whistling through the graveyard. You're shooting into the dark because you have no idea about how healthy he is. And Shannon, even if he's healthy right now, how do you know he's going to stay healthy for very long? Because the history would scream to you, something's going to go wrong. He's not the biggest man. He's a great kid. He seemed like a great leader at Alabama. But again, at 6 feet tall, every time he took any kind of a shot, he got hurt. He is what the old Cowboy teams I covered back in the 80s called brittle. He's eggshells. He's what you call fragile. He's what you call injury prone. So again, to me, where you want to take Tua is in the second round on a flyer, the way the Cowboys took Jalen Smith when it looked like his knee was wrecked at Notre Dame in his last college game, or when you took Randy Gregory because he was a drug risk at that point. That's where you take a flyer. But if you're going to take him with the 5th overall pick, good luck, because buyer beware.
Skip, unless you Ray Lewis or Lawrence Taylor, linebackers don't win you Super Bowls. Quarterbacks do. And Jalen Smith has come back and played well. Randy Gregory had some red flags and come back and played well. But they're not game changers. They're not life changers. That guy is a life changer. I believe he can be a life changer. And you don't pass up this opportunity, Skip. You said quarterbacks are the most important, the most valuable position in all of pro sports. You bet if you get an opportunity, and plus, Skip, they got 3 first-rounders. So if they make a mistake here, you got 2 more and you got 2 next year. So you're gonna be fine. I'm not.
Okay, but
if
Shannon,
I'm the Dolphins, yes.
Remember, there have been numerous reports that the Dolphins actually favor Joe Burrow. So if I'm the Dolphins, I would take my 3 first-round picks I have, including number 5, and next year's first-rounder. And if I had to throw in a 2, I'd throw in a 2 to say Cincinnati with the number 1 pick. Let us move from 5 up to 1. Let us take Joe Burrow, number 1, and then you can have 5 and you can restock your cupboard with the 2 other first-round picks and next year's first and maybe this year's second. That's what I would do.
Man, Mike Brown don't want to pay all them first-round picks, all that money. As cheap as he is, he want 1 guy he has to pay money to. He ain't trying to pay 5 guys, Skip. You know Mike Brown cheap. But, Skip, here's the thing. Who's to say that Joe Burrow is not going to get hurt or Herbert is not going to get hurt? You playing professional football, there's a great risk you can get hurt. Now, I understand, Skip, that some guys are injury-prone in college and they get to the NFL and they don't have anything. Some guys were healthy as a horse in college and they can't stay healthy in the NFL. Man, this is a violent game. This is not a contact. This is a collision sport. And you're running the men at a high rate of speed. I'm taking Tua, and I'm not looking back.
And I'm sorry, history tells you the odds are stacked against Tua staying healthy in the National Football League.
Okay.
All right, I'm stopping.